Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate. Cabinet received the report on food security, the 2024-2025 summer season, which was presented by the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development. The current grain stock at the Grain Marketing Board is enough to meet the demands of rural communities until the next harvest, which is expected in April 2025. Grain stocks are currently at 129,000 metric tons, and government of Zimbabwe continues to monitor the imports, the stocks at millers, import prices and import sources in order to eliminate arbitrage opportunities. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development has set up 214 surveillance traps for African armyworm, whose outbreak is the worst in 20 years across the country. All districts now have chemicals for standby reaction to this particular pest. 60 trucks, one for each district, have been purchased in order to timely respond to this menace and to be better prepared going forward. Additionally, 639,000 knapsack sprayers have also been distributed to beneficiaries in terms of the presidential input scheme. Cabinet considered and approved the national priorities for the National Development Strategy 2, January 2026 to December 2030, which is the NDS2, as presented by the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion. The National Development Strategy 1, 2021 to 2025, which is the NDS1, will come to an end in December 2025. As such, the National Development Strategy 2, which will run from 2026 to 2030, will be the Second Republic's second 5-year mid-term plan for attaining the country's Vision 2030. The government of Zimbabwe has now adopted 10 national priorities that will guide and underpin the formulation and implementation of the National Development Strategy 2 blueprint as follows: macroeconomic stability and financial sector deepening, inclusive economic growth and structural transformation, infrastructural development and housing, food security, climate resilience and environmental protection, technology, innovation and human capital development, job creation, youth development, creative industry and culture, social development and social protection, regional development and inclusivity through devolution and decentralization, image building, international diplomacy and trade, and good governance, institution building and security. The streamlined national priorities are geared to optimize resource allocation and strengthen sectoral coordination for effective and impactful delivery of services to the citizenry. A broad-based consultative process will buttress thematic working group realignment across the different socio-economic sectors, leading to the actual drafting and launch of the National Development Strategy 2 by October 2025. Cabinet considered and approved the compendium for the first 100-day cycle projects for 2025, which was presented by the Minister of State for National Security, Honorable Love Mo Matuke. The first 100-day cycle is running from the 3rd of February 2025 to the 13th of May 2025. The cycle covers 236 projects and involves projects from all ministries and Rural Infrastructure Development Agency. Of the total, 33 projects are being implemented countrywide, whilst a total of 10 projects will be implemented outside Zimbabwe. Some of the projects are replicated in more than one province as follows. Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, 15 projects. Harare Metropolitan Province, 48 projects. Mashonaland Central Province, 23 projects. Mashonaland East Province, 23 projects. Mashonaland West Province, 28 projects. Mashingo Province, 21 projects. Manicaland Province, 22 projects. Midlands Province, 30 projects. Matabeleland North Province, 47 projects. Matabeleland South Province, 24 projects. The nation is advised that the projects were selected according to their potential contribution to the aspirations of Vision 2030, focusing primarily on the improvement of livelihoods of citizens in all communities. 25 projects are being implemented under the devolution and decentralization thematic area. 11 projects contribute to the Binga Development Initiative, and these cover construction of new health facilities as well. Additionally, 62 projects across selected 14 ministries, departments, and agencies are identifiable to the 21st National People's Conference resolutions. In order to strengthen internal monitoring by the respective ministries, a regular tracking schedule will be utilized, whilst progress as a Day 50 will be publicized as per standing practice. Site visits to selected projects will be conducted in order to validate progress across the country. Cabinet considered and approved the implementation of the Presidential Solarization Program in terms of the report which was presented by the Minister of State for National Security, Honorable Lavmo Matuke. The following the approval of the implementation plan for the Presidential Solarization Program in December 2024, significant milestones have been made towards the provision of solar power to 200,000 households. Guidelines for the implementation of the program have been established, with stakeholder mapping and identification of beneficiaries in villages across the 8 rural provinces. Community mobilization and awareness processes spearheaded by the Ministers of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution have also been finalized. Graduates from the Youth Service in Zimbabwe, with assistance from experts from the Harare Institute of Technology and the Rural Electrification Agency, will install a total of 200,000 solar kits to the identified households. His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, will launch the Presidential Solarization Program to mark the official commencement of the first year in terms of the program. Cabinet considered and approved the MOU between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria on cooperation in the field of tourism, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi. The major objectives of the MOU are to strengthen the friendly relations and mutual understanding between Zimbabwe and Algeria in the field of tourism, to provide a broad framework that will guide working relations for the development and promotion of tourism for both countries, to enhance cooperation in the exchange of expertise, research and best practices in tourism development, and to promote joint tourism initiatives and investments between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. Cabinet received and approved the SADC cluster meetings of ministers responsible for transport, information, communication technology, information and metrology report as presented by the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Felix Mona. The SADC cluster meeting of Ministers of Transport, Information and Communication Technology, Information and Metrology met in Harare on the 28th of February 2025 to review sectoral progress achieved since the last meetings held in June 2023 and August 2024. During the SADC Summit of Heads of State and the SADC Council of Ministers, notable achievements include the signing of the MOU establishing the North-South Corridor and the agreement on the Beira Development Corridor, which comprises the Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The North-South Corridor comprises Botswana, DRC, Malawi, Mozambique, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. The short and medium-term preliminary measures drawn from the cluster meetings are as follows: strengthening legal and institutional framework on the infrastructural development, trade and industrialization strategy, implementation of trade and industrialization strategy, rebalancing of rail, enhancing regional collaboration in order to increase geographical diversity, designing alternate ICT optical fiber cable infrastructure owned by utility companies, the approval of electronic communications equipment in SADC, and enhancing access to smartphones or internet-enabled devices in the SADC region. Cabinet received and approved the learning visit to China report as presented by the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Stembiso Nyoni. The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife visited the People's Republic of China from the 23rd to the 28th of February 2025. The visit was aimed at strengthening bilateral relations with China on environmental policy in general and to specifically share mutual experiences on the hosting of high-level events like the Conference of Parties to the Convention on Wetlands, which will be held from the 23rd to the 31st of July 2025 in Victoria Falls. China hosted COP14. The outcomes of the visit include a raft of measures instituted by government aimed at strengthening preparations for hosting the COP15 in Victoria Falls, which is now in full swing. An interministerial committee has already been put in place in order to spearhead the preparations. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Murira, for the question from the Herald in terms of lessons learned from NDS 1 that will carry over into NDS 2. I think a very important lesson we've learned from NDS 1, which will carry over into NDS 2, really is that we need a whole-of-government approach in attacking some of these pillars and strategies within NDS 2, which we try to do under NDS 1. But this has to continue. We have to even be better at it and make sure that we do away with the silos that may creep in from time to time, to make sure that we can all work together to deliver on the goal of achieving an upper middle income society by year 2030. So a whole of government approach. The other lesson is that it's important to measure results. We've been doing a performance evaluation of NDS 1 on a quarterly basis, and we are going to do a full review for the NDS1 during the month of April to June, because we need, although we not have completed the 5 years, there will be enough information which we need to then fine-tune NDS2 to see where the gaps are. So performance evaluation or a results measurement approach is very, very critical. This is the first time that we've undertaken results measurement, because we had a very clear metric in terms of targets. So it's very easy to measure results, and that's a lesson that we're going to carry forward. The other lesson that we're going to carry forward is just process and management and rollout of NDS2 going forward. We feel that we need to do more in engaging the citizens in terms of our objectives as government, our objectives to improve their lives. We need to take into account more of their views and ideas as we implement NDS2. So we'll be taking this plan, this strategy, to the various corners of the country, various provinces, having a conversation with our citizens so that they have a say in terms of which areas we need to fine-tune. So these are 3 things that I think are critical in terms of the success and impact of our NDS 2 going forward. Now, maybe there's another issue, which is also very unique, which we have to carry forward, which is that our budgets on an annual basis have to speak to NDS 2. So we'll make sure that even for the 2026 budget, we're able to put it together using some of the initial information and thrust of NDS2, but on an annual basis, we have to make sure that there's alignment between the budgetary process and the strategy, which is the NDS2. So 4 things that we will certainly carry forward. In terms of which pillars have we been most successful, as I said, we're going to do an evaluation of results measurement between the month of next month to June, so we'll be able to give you a fuller answer going forward. But on a cursory note, let me say that I think it's true to say, colleagues, we've done a lot as a government in the area of infrastructure development, particularly on roads, transportation infrastructure, and also in the construction of various dams in terms of the impounding water. And then but then going forward, we'll accelerate the process of decanting this water onto the fields, which is investment in irrigation infrastructure. I think the whole infrastructure space has been one way we can say we've really done very well within Harare in terms of roads and across the country, for at least the Bridge to Harare and then Chirundu Road. And we will continue going forward. I think also it's fair to say in the area of power production, still a subsector of infrastructure, again the coming in of Wanke 7 and 8, the unleashing of the incentives for attracting independent power producers, the IPPs, they've all gone a long way in attracting investment into the power sector. I really want to say that perhaps this is also one area where we've made quite a bit of progress and added at least the 600 megawatts from Wanke 7 and 8 in addition to solar investments. I think also we've made progress in the area of beneficiation, although we want to do more in NDS2. Think about it, the whole steel sector has been reignited with the investment in the Manize investment from Tsingshan from China. We will now become a significant player in the steel sector in the region, and which is an integrated steel facility with the ore sitting right next to the processing plant or the manufacturing plant for steel. And then we have pockets of other beneficiation initiatives. When you look at lithium, we've mandated lithium producers to now beneficiate up to the level of lithium sulfate. This is by law. So we want to accelerate the beneficiation and value addition agenda, but it has started off well. Colleagues, it's fair to say that we've done a tremendous job in the area of food security. With the launch of the Fumvudza Intwasa program, we've been able to really make a lot of progress in climate proofing our agriculture for our various corners of society. And then their success in the wheat production, where we are now self-sufficient, we're able to grow enough to feed ourselves and even begin to export. Surely that is a serious area of success. Just this year alone, we expect a record crop in terms of quality for tobacco, where we've seen the transformation of that sector, which was dominated by large-scale farmers, to now small-scale farmers who are able to outstrip the performance of the prior year or yesteryear large commercial farmers. I could go on and on. There are clear areas of success that I can point to already, but please be patient. Wait for the evaluation that will take place between April and June. So beginning of July, we should be able to share that with you and then use that input to then straighten out and as an input into our NDS2, which it is our expectation that we should be able to complete this by end of October and then launch it certainly by mid-November, but before the budget for 2026, so that then we can have that input into the budget, and then the budget is always on the last Thursday of November. So that's the sequence of events. I thank you. So I think I've covered both the questions from Murira and Chingwere. I thank you very much.